2020, and this is the first of two classes that I'm going to be doing on being able to go and give tips for staying connected to your loved ones during the COVID-19 health crisis that we're all currently facing. Some of us may be dealing with being stuck in homes during this lockdown period that we currently find ourselves in, and stuck with family and our loved ones much more often than what we're used to or ever really planned on. And others of us are dealing with the isolation of being alone and being separate from those who we love and care about. So we're going to go over tips for both of those during today. If you are watching the replay, thank you for being here, as well as the people who are live. And perhaps you actually know how this COVID-19 actually turns out. At this particular time, we don't, and it's a big question mark. So there is a lot of fear that is running at this point. For those of you who do not know me, I go by the name Eco, the Incredibly Caring Organism, and I am co-creating a world of enlightened consent, where everything consensual is honored, and honoring your authentic truth so you can have relationships that you love and thrive in. I have been working with people and their relationships for over 13 years, and I've worked with relationships of all different kinds and dynamics, including those who identify as being part of the LGBTQ plus community, those who are kinky, and those who engage in ethical non-monogamy, such as polyamory. I am also an internationally best-selling co-author of the March 2014 edition of Sexy Secrets to a Juicy Love Life. And later in the month of May of 2020, later this month, I have another book that will be coming out called Ignite Love. That is another compilation book, which I'll be excited to go and share and be a part of that with the world. So if you're desiring more love for yourself or more love for others or more love for the world in general, I invite you to go and click on the little heart button, because we are all in this together. And one of the things that I have been noticing during this health crisis and isolation of how interconnected we actually all are, both in our families and our intimate relationships, how interconnected the businesses are, and how interconnected the world actually is in the different countries to one another. So if you are joining me here live, please type in a comment letting me know where you are watching from. I am based in Washington State. And if you are watching the replay of this, also let me know where you're watching it from. I will go back and look at the comments. So getting into our content for today. One of the things for being connected is actually knowing what it is that you want and need, and what it is that has you feel loved and connected. One of the things that is very useful for that is being familiar with the 5 love languages. For those of you who are not familiar with it, it is a way of looking at how different people feel and receive love, or how they show love to one another. Very quickly, the 5 love languages are physical touch, the words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, and gift giving. Primarily, a healthy relationship with your loved ones is going to go and have all 5 of those put together. However, often one, maybe two of them will have you feel much more loved than or you have with anyone else. So being familiar with what is your actual love language and what it is, how you both show love and receive love, which can be different. For me, I have physical touches both giving love and for showing love. Um, I've had partners who have had a one love language, such as acts of service, um, be her way of showing me love, and she felt most loved in quality time. So they can be different from one another. And regardless if you're in a intimate relationship or not, or if you're by yourself through this, or if you're completely surrounded by your family, there is one relationship that you will always have with you throughout your entire lifetime. That is the relationship with yourself. And so, therefore, being sure that you keep a healthy relationship with you first and foremost is really important for um, what is going to go on in your life. Because one of the things I have actually found and discovered for myself is that I am only able to go and love another person to the extent that I'm willing able to actually love myself. And so I am a very big advocate of doing one's own inner work and discovering my own wants, my needs, my desires, being able to um, get clear and congruent on that within myself, and being able to start to communicate that to other people. So, if you aren't familiar with what it is that you actually want and need, there are a number of ways that you can go and find that. One of the ways is to go and find the Nonviolent Communication Needs List, which is a list that was compiled. It has over 70 different needs that, through their research, found that every person has these universal needs. And um, what we actually fight over is not having our needs. Well, let me clarify. What we actually fight over is not the need itself. We fight over our strategies to get those needs met. So when we can break down the conversation to the level of what need are you actually trying to get met, will you help me collaborate with me in order to help me get my need met, things can work a lot easier rather than fighting about what it is that we're butting heads over. Because usually we may be trying to just get a need met and can come up with a different strategy that would help us get our needs met as well as the other person's need. One of the questions that I've received so far is what skill do I need to practice on in order to feel my social needs are being met? And with a couple of things we've been going over so far, would be a couple of the first things that I would go and personally recommend and have been very beneficial in my experience. Being able to know what I want and need first and foremost, and being able to articulate what those wants and needs are to others. When I went through the NVC needs list, one of the things that was recommended to me is to actually circle the top 10 needs out of all of those, because while everyone has those needs, they're not going to be important to everyone. Or some needs are going to be more important to others. Like two of my top needs are honesty and integrity. Another is freedom of choice. And going along with that, someone else may have a need that is more important to them, perhaps of safety or play, or perhaps a need um, for, let's see, I'm blanking on all the other needs right now. That's, so getting back to the topic of what is it that we can go and do to stay connected is first be connected to ourselves. And in that connection, it'll be able to become much, much easier to actually connect to others and inviting other people to connect to themselves. Communication is more than just speaking. Communication is being able to share what it is that we want to say to other people. A lot of people just do emotional dumps onto others and be like, well, I communicated to you. And being able to truly communicate usually goes much more into being able to meet the other person where they're at and speaking to them in a way that they're able to go and hear you. Because a lot of us in this time period frame are dealing with survival instincts. And there is a lot of fear going on. Are we going to make it through this? Are we going to go and live? Do I have enough money? Can I go and pay the rent? In my own experience, I have intertwined my life with 4 other amazing individuals who have become my chosen family. And I love and care about them deeply. And I've been able to actually learn how to become more of a cohesive unit in a way that I've never had to go and experience before. And I am so very grateful for being able to connect with them, be supported by them, because we are all in this together. To a question of where is the needless found, I will put that into the chat. I'm not sure if on the replay the chat will come up. That if you do a Google search for NVC, Nevada Victor Charlie needs inventory PDF, you will go and be able to find in Google a link for that needs inventory. And it's free to go and share. They just ask that you go and credit it. I'm putting the link in now. Thank you for asking for that, Lydia. So another thing about if you are living with others, some of the questions that I have received is about how do you actually find space and hold, get some time for oneself. Because usually we're coming, we're going, and we have before now lived in an age where we all go in different directions, maybe have a meal together, maybe not, and living under the same roof. And now we all find ourselves here. For those of us who are living with others and under the stay-at-home that all the states, as far as I know, are still currently under, it can be a little bit maddening. So being able to create healthy boundaries and actually finding a place for yourself for a period of time and making sure that you are still nurturing and nourishing that internal relationship first and foremost. Once again, um, while it is important to be compassionate for others and to help and assist one another, we also need to remind ourselves that we are most important as well. So, how does one actually create a healthy boundary? One of my mentors, Francesca Gentile, uh, taught me the phrase about creating a healthy boundary of this is a boundary that is for me and it's nothing against you. You are not bad or wrong for what you're requesting or wanting time with me, and I need some time for me. I need some space for me. Now, where can you go? It really depends a lot in your living situation and what challenges you may have or who you may live with. Um, with those of us that have vehicles, I've known people to actually go out to their cars, their trucks, and use that as a new safe space. Other people have actually turned their vehicles into their private offices as they've been doing remote networking. Uh, what when you're needing your space from others, the best thing that I can go and recommend is actually state, I am needing some space. I need some time for me. Same goes for those who are in relationships that while you may have kids or you may have a group of people that live in your home, you can still make requests of we need this private time together, and being able to set up structures for um, those who need supervision to make sure they're still watched over. That is so important. And also being able to trust that others will be able to manage and take care of themselves even for a little while. 5 minutes, 15 minutes. That can make a huge difference to one another. Now, if you happen to be on the other end of the spectrum, where I am all alone, I am yearning for connection, I am yearning for being able to touch, especially if you have a primary love language of touch. If you're by yourself, what can you do? Remember that you still have you and your connection. Being able to go and give yourself a loving hug. Being able to go and caress yourself. Love yourself. You are still alive. And you're here and that you matter. You matter. And you are worthy. Just as you are right now. You are worthy just for the reason that you exist. There's nothing you have to do. Doesn't matter how you've been in the past. You are still worthy. You are lovable just as you are, and you are loved. For those of us who are yearning for connection with others, being able to connect digitally, phone calls, video conferencing, I've done Zoom meetings with my mother, who's in Nevada, and my sister, who's out in Michigan. And we've been able to go and actually connect and actually get to see and talk to one another. It's not the same as being there in person. And right now we're dealing with very uncertain times, and we're getting to create new ways to get together with one another, and new ways of working, new ways of being able to touch and communicate. So I know this is kind of scattered, and I'm letting that be okay. Because, well, this is me reaching out and being able to look to make a difference. If this is making a difference for you, please hit the like button, go and hit the love heart. Let me know that this is going making a difference for you. I'm here to connect. I'm here to serve and support those who wanted and need it during this time. So being able to I lost my thought. But y'all take a deep breath with me. Let out with a sound. It's something I learned from Reed Mahako, another mentor of mine and friend. When you actually take a deep breath and when you let it out with a sound so it goes and reverberates with your chest, it creates a resonance that is actually internally calming. So, with being connected, for any of you who are on the live call, please go and write in your comment of what it is that you may want to know a bit more specifically. Or if you're watching the replay of this, please write it down. Trouble playing this video. Really? Okay. I don't know if we're still live. Apparently we're still live. I just can't go and see myself. Oh, maybe you can go and hear me. Maybe not. So this might be a good place to cut this first class. For all of you that have been here and been a part of this, I really appreciate it. Thank you. I am planning on doing the second part of this class this coming Friday, May 8th. Planning to do it around the 5 o'clock hour. We're going to be going into more questions that people have gone and put. I'll go and talk about connecting with some of the other of the love languages that we didn't quite go and get to. And for those of you who want to go and keep in touch with me, I invite you to get on my list at enlightenedconsent.net. And if you're willing to exchange a gift of your email to me, I will go and give you a PDF copy of my first book, Sexy Secrets to a Juicy Love Life, for free. And it is a wonderful book made by over 26 authors, which I got to be a part of. So also in the comments, put in what kind of questions do you want me to go and answer in the next class. Thank you all for being here, and have a great rest of your night. Thank you. Bye for now.